Now from Leave It to Beaver to Leave It to Remington.
Isn't that the greatest? Imagine the drama club doing my play.
Gosh, Amy, how'd you ever get started?
Oh, one day my quiet writer and I got together and suddenly, inspiration.
But where did this technology come from? The first recorded attempt to invent a typewriter was a patent granted by Queen Anne to an engineer named Henry Mill in 1714, but there is no visual evidence of anything having been invented. This would be the first of many attempts of inventing a typewriter, but nothing seemed to be close to what we see today until 1868 when Christopher Latham Sholes, a kind-hearted, inventive genius, was granted a patent for his machine. This led to the development of the first practical typewriter, named the Model 1 Remington, manufactured by the Remington Arms Company. Like any new technology, the typewriter was met with a little bit of resistance, but with more exposure and advertising targeting working women, businessmen, and even school children, this machine became more and more popular. The fact that nations were becoming more industrialized and the need for more commerce also helped too. The typewriter also helped to spread the English language throughout the world. It was the first step for women to be able to work alongside men, and it helped to change the educational system, to name a few things. So now I'm going to show you how to use a typewriter. This is the layout of your keyboard, and this is the margin release key. This button on the opposite side is the backspace key. This is your tab key. It works just like your tab key would on your regular computer. This is your backspace key. And on the bottom row here, these are your left and right shift keys. This is your shift lock key. You press it down to keep it in place. And you just press that shift key again to release it. And up top here, these are your type bars. And if you can see, this is where your letters and your symbols are imprinted on the metal. And this is your margin return lever. And on the opposite side, the silver notch here is your margin release lever. Both of these just move your carriage from one side to the other. And you also have your left and right platen knobs. You can just wind these and it helps to wind your paper. This is where your ribbon lies. And underneath this plate here are your ribbon spools, where the ribbon will wind from one side to the other. And these are your margin selectors. On this model, you just press them down and you can move them wherever you like. And that's where the new line will start. So now I'm going to load a piece of paper. And you just wind one of these knobs to bring the paper up. And you can set the paper wherever you like. I'm going to start right here. So now I'm going to start typing. I'll type, "The dog jumps over the lazy fox." And that's how you use a typewriter. Describe some of your initial thoughts and experience after using a typewriter.
My first experience using the typewriter was quite interesting. I did not know much about it at first, but as I learned about it, it was easier to maneuver through. What I liked most about the typewriter is I just felt more productive. Maybe it's how loud the keys are once you hit them or something. I'm not sure what it is, but I like that part about it. What I didn't like about it is the fact that you have to do so much just to type, with like changing the tabs and just making sure that you're spaced out enough so your lines don't overlap. That's very important. So just stuff that I normally would not think about when I use a laptop. But overall, my experience was very cool, and I learned a lot about it.
So here's one thing I want to share with you guys called the Typewriter Project, which was started in 2014 and is still ongoing. What's cool about this is that there are installation booths set up in various cities, and anyone can just come and use a typewriter, sometimes for the first time, and add whatever they like to an ongoing scroll of paper. I think this is a great way to bring people together and start a citywide conversation, not based on the usual forms of social media. There's also a cool trailer where different people share their experiences participating in this project, so I'd really encourage you guys to check it out, and who knows, there could even be a booth coming near you. The second thing I want to show you guys is called The California Typewriter, and this is a documentary that was just released in August of this year. It features people like Tom Hanks and John Mayer, and what I think is really cool about this documentary is it shows different people with different motivations of why they still use the typewriter or why they've gone back to using a typewriter, especially in an increasingly digital world and with all the technology we have today. So I think this documentary does a great job in exploring the relationships between people, machines and technology, and expression through communication. So I think no matter who you are, you could benefit from watching this documentary, and I highly recommend it.